This is not racing as you know it. You can't beat the thrill of a race. The speed and precision.
Look at the speeds already at 90 kilometers an hour.
The epic rivalries. The iconic victories.
Oh, best seat in the house.
The unforgiving waters.
Look at the speeds already. Problems, big problems.
This is SailGP.
Waves crash underneath, sound like thunder speaking. Flying carbon machines, driven by the world's best, yes. Powered by nature, raw passion, all action. When it takes, racing on water, racing with impact. Give it all, everything, give it all, everything. We are racing. When it takes, we are SailGP.
For the second event in a row, SailGP travels to a new venue to introduce local fans to the best sailors in the world. The Baltic Sea provides the proving grounds as the 12 international teams battle for supremacy at this idyllic German resort town. Welcome to Sassnitz and the 8th event of Season 5 of SailGP. With picturesque chalk cliffs and surrounding forests, the shores of Sassnitz will be teeming with fans hoping to see their favorite team take control of this weekend's course, and with it, the 10 season points that go to the winner. Spectacular weather is forecasted for the scheduled 2 days of racing on the Baltic. This is the Germany Sail Grand Prix Sassnitz, part of the Rolex SailGP Championship. Alongside Olympian Stevie Morrison and former Emirates GBR athlete Hannah Diamond, I'm Todd Harris. Following the league's first foray into Germany, there are just 4 stops remaining this season. Up next is Saint-Tropez, France, followed by another first-time venue, Geneva, Switzerland. Then there's a return to Cadiz, Spain, before the finale in Abu Dhabi at the end of November. Right now, let's recap Season 5 through the first 7 events.
The European leg of the Rolex SailGP Championship kicked off in front of record crowds on the Solent. Spain arrived in Portsmouth at the top of the standings, but a string of costly mistakes and inconsistent finishes saw them slip to 3rd overall.
Well, they absolutely dumped the boat down into the water, and their chances of the final were evaporating.
We feel like we made many mistakes. We were doing good things, but many mistakes, and we're getting closer to the end of the season. But it's going to be super important to be sharp, to work well between events, and that's what we're going to do.
Meanwhile, the New Zealand Black Fours rediscovered their winning form. After going winless since the season opener in Dubai, they delivered a commanding performance in British waters to claim their second event victory and take over the top of the leaderboard.
The winners of the Emirates Great Britain Sail Grand Prix in Portsmouth, it will be the Kiwis, the Black Foils.
Getting to the European League with a win is something we're really proud of and looking forward to continue to build from here.
Buoyed by home support, Emirates Great Britain reignited their season in Portsmouth. They reached their first final since Sydney and now sit just a single point off the coveted top 3 and a shot at the championship grand final.
Feels like we're back to our normal selves. You know, we had a couple of off events, and this weekend we know that's how we can sail, and if we sail like that for the rest of the year, we'll be where we need to be in Abu Dhabi.
France's weekend began with disaster, with a dramatic wing collapse before the first race. But after round-the-clock work by their shore team, they returned on day 2 and promptly reminded the fleet what they were missing.
We missed them yesterday, but they reintroduced themselves to the fans here, and the Emirates winning moment goes the way of Team France.
We all focus on winning and adrenaline, but yeah, unfortunately it's a really bad result for us, and it's not really in our control. It is what it is, and the season is not over.
And history was made for Switzerland as they reached their first ever event final, a major milestone in their campaign.
Super proud and happy you've made the first final. I think we deserve it. Bit of a shame to end up having to stop that final with some technical issues.
We have to stop the race. We have a hydraulic. We cannot turn the wing anymore.
But now looking forward for the rest of the season.
As the battle for the overall podium intensifies, Bond's Flying Ruse and North Star Canada will be hoping to put the big penalty call behind them from Portsmouth. No doubt Slingsby's Bond's Flying Ruse and Scott's North Star Canada will be laser focused on making a comeback in Sassnitz, while Germany Deutsche Bank will look to home support to change their fortunes this season.
So here we are for event 8 of the Rolex SailGP Championship. After 7 events in a thriller last month on the Solent, the Black Foilers of New Zealand sit in the top spot on the Season 5 leaderboard. The Bonds Flying Roos are just 2 points back in second, with last season's champion Spain in third. Emirates GBR are just 1 point out of a top 3 position, and North Star Canada round out the top 5. For the bottom half of the league, improvements are definitely needed and in a hurry. But for 2 of the team's events yesterday here in Sassnitz could leave them without any chance of picking up any more points this weekend.
In practice racing at Sassnitz, the F50s were pushed to the limit, delivering high-speed thrills in challenging, unexpected conditions and some unexpected drama.
Oh, France! The French have really put it in the water there.
Yeah, at the end of the reaching, we were above 90 km per hour, and we had a lot of loads on the rudders and the platform, and our windward rudder just exploded. Yeah, I never checked like this on a boat before, but yeah, it was super violent. As you know, every skippers or athlete in this league want to push hard and win races. I'm not 100%, but yeah, I'm confident I can still sail and win races, so we'll go out there and try our best to make a good Grand Prix.
Big incident.
Big problem.
No, of course, in any given accident, as a skipper, my biggest concern is safety. Material damage can always be repaired, but you know, it's really important that everybody is safe and fortunately without a scratch. Very frustrating, I think, for our team coming here early in Sassnitz. The whole idea was to you know, go forwards on the fleet with our racing. But yeah, it's really tough not racing, and I think we will try to get from this weekend the most we can, which is firstly the boat out of here into Southampton the fastest we can.
Well, racing here today in Sassnitz, and we're going to get underway with 4 races out there on the water today. We'll come back again tomorrow for 3 more fleet races. Of course, if you win the race, it's 10 points. If you're in 10th place, only 1, and below that, well, it's no points. We're going to accumulate the points. Top 3 boats will go to a winner-takes-all event final.
Today, the wind is blowing offshore with shifty and gusty conditions. Teams will race towards Mark 1 where they'll make a left turn away from the shoreline to Gate 2, where they can choose to turn either left or right. From here, the boats will try to pick the best course against the wind whilst they head to Gate 3 in front of the fans in the grandstand. It's a new venue tucked right up against the shore, making it hard to anticipate the wind coming down the course. Teams will have to work out when to push hard and when to hold back, as it will be possible to go over the limit today. The final lap will see the boats take a right turn towards the finish line just off the breakwater.
So the team's going through their final preparations before the first race of the Germany Sail Grand Prix Sassnitz. We're under 3 minutes away. Right now we check in on the water for the latest news with Olympic silver medalist Lisa Darmanin.
It's looking epic out here in Sassnitz, Todd. The wind is pumping around 35 kilometers per hour from the west, gusting to around 44 kilometers per hour. As Hannah said, it's blowing offshore, so big changes in wind speed and direction. So full coordination day for all athletes on board, having to be super proactive to the changing winds. Configuration-wise, we are set up for a speed record today, starting with a high-speed T-foils. We also have high-speed rudders, so to account for the stronger winds, and we are also seeing the 18-meter wing for the first time racing this season. And we've got the large jib at the front of the F50.
All right, thank you very much, Lisa. Hannah Diamond, if Lisa Darmanin is calling it an epic day, get ready.
Yeah, that's right. The conditions look absolutely awesome out there, so it's going to be some close racing on a configuration we haven't had in a little while.
Yeah, I think it was last season, San Francisco, the last chance they got to use these 80-meter wings, so big bit of learning for the wing trimmers.
And the good news is France is a go, so we are 12, we are down to 11. Unfortunately, Brazil will not be joining for this after that incident yesterday during practice racing, but France is a go. So Quentin Delapierre just about 90 seconds away from racing once again, and he does like the speed.
Yeah, I mean, there's an awful lot of actions, but this is their kind of conditions. When we were in Sydney a few years ago, they were pretty much unplayable on this similar setup, and he knows that. He just pushes hard, doesn't he? Maybe pushed a little bit too hard yesterday in the training and really found a bit beyond the limit, but here we go. Crucial moments now for the crews, and it's the Bonds Flying Roos that have really wound things up here. We know how tricky this start will be in these gusty conditions. So yeah, excited to see the next minute play out.
to kill. 55.
Under a minute to go before the start of the Germany Sail Grand Prix here in Sassnitz, the Rolex SailGP Championship, and the 11 teams now making their way into the start box. Remember, cannot cross that red line until the clock goes to 0, and so now the dance begins.
Yeah, we can see it's a small start box. Look, bottom left-hand corner of our screen, how close they are to the fans on the shoreline. It's a really tight box. Emirates, Great Britain late in, but that could give them a chance to attack here. United States, top of the line. Pole position is that blue area just in the middle of the line, so a fairly even start line. Will be about acceleration from here. The boats are trickling in. The black foils look well positioned. Rolex pole predictor sits on top of the Danish at the moment. Can Rockwell execute? Emirates, Great Britain winded up. Australia look late to me. Spain in the middle of the line are the favourites from here. We're watching for that line to turn white, and we're going to see who's found the perfect timing. Can the British accelerate through from there? Oh,
this is the umpire's early start penalty, Spain.
Yeah, they're going to have to go back behind the whole fleet, the Spanish, but it was the British absolutely perfect at the bottom of the line, and Mark 1, we're going to see these F50s absolutely light up as they turn away from the breeze.
Turn away in 5. Pressure at the mark. 3, 2, 1. Hey, loading up here.
Watch the numbers at the top of the wings.
And it is on at mark number 1 with Emirates GBR leading the pack.
98 kilometres an hour there for the British at Mark 1. They're in a lot of wind, that dark patch of water carting them down towards gate 2 here. Long way to stretch out. It's all about accurate manoeuvres now. There goes Hannah Mills.
Tense moments on board here on race number 1. You've got Spain, Denmark, and it looks like the Bonds Flying Roos, they've already turned away. No, that's the black foil. So the Bonds Flying Roos still hanging in there. Here we go.
Lovely. Look at the patch of wind. The Bonds Flying Roos are in the top of the course there. They look like they found a lot of wind, and the Australians are going to come back towards the group with the right of way. So tactically, very nice manoeuvre there by Tash Bryant and Tom Slingsby, but I think Emirates Great Britain are gone. They look good. A lot of wind here. They're going to try and keep it simple with a left turn at gate 2.
And at gate number 2 at race number 1, it is Emirates GBR with the lead. The home team, Deutsche Bank Germany, in second place. And now is where it's going to get really crazy as they all come together.
Yeah, Switzerland have got to keep clear. The red and the green there. The Italians need to watch out. Perfect manoeuvre by Ruggiero Tito. And now the Bonds Flying Roos have got to slow things down. What a move by the Italians is at the top of the screen. The Swiss are loose. Oh, it's so hard rounding these boats up through the breeze.
One of the trickiest things today is going to be how hard do you push. It's really tricky to know whether you're in full race mode or just getting around this mark safely. So the teams that get that right are going to have a big advantage.
So it's still Emirates GBRs. They make their way back up the course. They have first place right now. Second place is showing Deutsche Bank Germany. Third going to Red Bull Italy. And the Bonds Flying Roos, your top 4.
Yeah, I think to Hannah's point, in these gusts, the dark patches on the water there, you know, you're going to have so much extra horsepower. It's all very well having a car with 1,000 horsepower. If you can't stick it or control it to the road, there's no point in using it. So the crews have got to judge how hard and when to push to the maximum. And right now, the British have just made a massive gain, and for the German fans, look at that. Eric Highland team turning it on. They're well positioned, good shift, good pressure, moving up the course well, and they look like they're sailing a nice breeze out there at the moment, Lisa.
Yeah, the British are definitely in the best breeze around the course, but the difference between the light air and the heavy air is huge, so it really is changing the angles, it's changing the heel, it really is tough out here. But as they approach this top gate, it's actually getting a lot lighter, and as you're close to shore, it's hard to read the wind as well, so it's going to get tricky as they move up the course.
So Emirates GBR has the lead. Second place belongs to Deutsche Bank. German squad sitting in second. The fans will love that. Eric Heil at the wheel, Stuart Bithell, wing trimmer, Anna Barth, the strategist.
Yeah, United States, bottom right-hand corner as well. Mike Menninger in on the wing trim there. First day on the tools for him. Not an easy task to be handed that one over. They've got to watch out. Switzerland should have boundary room there. It's going to be tight. Bottom right-hand corner. The USA need to manoeuvre away.
Taylor Canfield, US SailGP, currently sitting in 3rd place, so a nice maneuver for them. They don't lose anything on that maneuver, and now it looks like, Stevie, a lot of these boats are going to be able to lay right into this gate.
Yeah, and you can see where Australia are top of screen, so Great Britain look like they might turn right, but I think they're going to sail into less wind, so expect an early maneuver. I think as you go under the shoreline there, you will see a bit less breeze, so tricky tactical moments in the race here.
Hannah, as we look at the course right now and talking about what Lisa said about less wind closer to shore, how far out are they advancing and they calling these maneuvers? Are they going to make this maneuver quickly and they already think about the next maneuver?
Well, one of the tricky things is because they're tucked up so close to that shoreline, they don't get a lot of time to be able to see that wind and make their decision based on what they're seeing on the water. So you'll probably see that's why the fleet's compressed so much here compared to they're much more spread out down at the bottom gate, but really tricky to make the right call at this top gate.
Oh, French just squeezing round there. We can see it was United States probably had the best of that upwind leg there. Contan needs to reset, re-accelerate this French boat. They're really slow. Won't be easy to accelerate here. Swiss, they're in an awful lot of breeze moving down towards the bottom right-hand side of the course there, and you can just see any mistakes. You lose so much distance.
3, 2, 1, hold, I'm 5.
These 18-meter wings, really tricky to sail when you're down the wind range. So the grinders are having to work super hard because the wing trimmers are really working the wing sheet and the twist control that they have to make sure that they can keep as powered up as possible in the lighter winds.
This is like 4 of 6, race number 1. We've got 4 races scheduled for today. It's down to the bottom of the course, then back up, and then the turn to home. And a penalty for Red Bull Italy. It looks like a boundary penalty, possibly.
Yeah, they're just going to need to lose 20 meters there. They've just got a bit wide on the course. It's quite light winds out there, that is for sure. We can see Great Britain here. They're in well positioned for the bottom. They might have to do an extra maneuver there. Dylan confirms that. Trying to make things simple, but for Germany, United States and Switzerland, well, it's a crucial moment in the race.
Almost 200-meter lead for Emirates GBR. Behind them, the home team, Germany Deutsche Bank with Eric Heil at the wheel, and now the Americans and the Swiss in a nice battle for 3rd and 4th.
Yeah, the Swiss did find more wind, and it was the left turn at the bottom last time that paid dividend for the British, and the British have been forced to go the other way. So interesting here. Maybe the course has changed a little bit, not sure, but the Swiss have been fast on this downwind egg. Black foil's looming large, but this is the final upwind. Crucial moments in the race if you want to make a pass from here.
Okay, stand. You're aboard. Aboard.
US SailGP now tucked into 4th place. Top 4 position be great start for Taylor Canfield and the Americans. And a great start, Stevie, for the Germans. You got to go back to Dubai and the fleet race where they won 2nd race of the day, but it hasn't been a lot of consistent success for them, so this would be a great start.
Yeah, I mean, I think they talked to you a little bit. They've just had some practice. I mean, it's hard to get the practice, isn't it, Hannah? And maybe we're just seeing the dividends of a little bit of time on the water, because right now, Germany could be a threat for the British here. Germany look like they're progressing up those ladder lines well. They have the right of way. I think we could see a lead change here. Could be the Germans making a game.
Yeah, that's right. And you can see some teams just feel really comfortable in a particular venue, so it might be that the Germans have just switched straight into these conditions. I would say that that left turn looked really strong last time, so I'm surprised that Emirates GBR allowed them to split at that point in the race.
Yeah, tricky. Here we go. Crucial cross here. Right of way, Germany. Great Britain must keep clear, and it should be 1 more manoeuvre for the Germans, potentially 2 for Great Britain at the top. So big chance for the Germans from here.
Great opportunity for the fans on shore in Sassnitz to get on their feet. The home team is in 1st place now as we are on the penultimate leg here in race number 1. It's Germany Deutsche Bank out in front.
All about accurate manoeuvres for the Germans from here. Control the controllable on board that German boat. Try and stick a good manoeuvre. Here they go. Let's watch them here. Accuracy crucial. Oh, lovely. Look how they kept the heel wind there. The boat leaning on top of them. Perfect for acceleration. Now, Great Britain has right of way, but they have to do another manoeuvre. Germany has space. If they dip behind Great Britain, I think they'll still make the mark. So tight moment. Advantage Great Britain right now.
USA has moved up to 2nd place, and now it's all about this crossing. Remember, as Stevie said, Great Britain has the right of way.
Dylan turns towards him there. Tries to force Germany wide. German on the inside. Great Britain, 1 more manoeuvre to do. Can Germany make the final mark with no more manoeuvres? And don't forget about the United States.
Penalty New Zealand. Port tack boat not keeping clear. Go behind Italy.
So the Kiwis, the Blackfoils, will lose one position. They'll drop back to 6th place, and now it is on. Here we go, the final gate.
Germany are going to make it, Todd, here. Sprint to the finish coming.
And they spin the wheel to the right, and with the fans just off to their left-hand side, they will bring it home. Race number 1 of the Germany Sail Grand Prix here in Sassnitz goes the way of the home team. The Emirates winning moment goes to the Germans.
What a moment, what a race by the Germans. Where did that come from?
Emirates GBR led for almost the entire race, and on the last upwind leg, Germany comes from behind to take the win. Emirates GBR finishes in 2nd. The USA holds on for a top 3 position.
Oh, I tell you what, right at the end of that, the Blackfoils and Australia got themselves back in the race, 5th and 6th. Australia was down in about 10th place and stuck in really light winds for a while there. So good race and good comeback for those teams. Canada, Denmark, right-hand side, last at the back of the pack here. Really disappointing for them. Time for a big, big reset.
Good performance as well from Red Bull Italy. They are top 4 as well. This is a team that is on the rise, no question about it. In their first year in the league, 2-time Olympic gold medalist Rogero Tita and his squad. He is a 4-time world champion in the NACRA. So with CEO Jimmy Spithill at the helm, the Italians got to feel good about race number 1. But everyone, get out of the way. The Germans are coming as Eric Heil and his squad crosses the line in first. We now go down on the water. And Eric Kusselgaard and Heil, congratulations, Eric, to you and your squad. What was the story today? Is this local knowledge shining through?
I don't think so. I think we had a good start and managed pretty well being ahead and staying ahead for now. But it's not a racetrack you can overtake easily. You need to wait for mistakes, I guess, and we didn't make many, so we were staying ahead.
Eric, it's really, really gusty and shifty. How on the edge do the boats feel today?
Yeah, it's racing on the edge. To be honest, it's quite unstable with the little wings. We haven't had them for long, and it's also new for us today to step back onto the boat with a less stable boat. So it's quite fun.
And Anna, obviously strategist, it's really, really shifty out there on the water at the moment. How easy is it to pick a plan, or is that just all about being ahead early in the race?
But being ahead makes it a lot easier to pick a route over the course. I think we did well on that, and then had a look at where the best pressure is, and managed to even gain DBR in the end. So nice race for us.
Anna Barth and Eric Kusselgaard and Heil, we appreciate your time. Congratulations on a big win. They win race number 1 of the Germany Sail Grand Prix Sassnitz. Let's go back and unpack some of this, Stevie and Hannah. This was a great race from the start.
Well, it was, and it was top of the line. It was Emirates Great Britain that were on fire. They found a gap through the gate there, and they were so quick out the gun. Germany in the middle was a pretty average start, but their acceleration, phenomenal towards Mark 1 from there, Hannah.
Yeah, that's right. And it was actually quite a long leg down to gate 2, wasn't it? So we saw the fleet spread out a little bit, but that left turn looked really strong with the boats that turned right. Really lost out at that first bit of the first upwind, sorry.
Yeah, it wasn't. I think that was a little bit of a feature, wasn't it? Because we saw there Germany were right behind Great Britain, but for some reason, as the race went on, the British seemed to have found a big gain. But it was after this gate, when we got back down to the bottom of the course, that I think Great Britain made that mistake. They allowed Germany to turn left. We'd seen that as a gain before, and it was again.
Yeah, you can see the different colours of the water just showing how patchy the wind is on the water. We can see at the moment the Germans are 48, 49 kilometres an hour compared to close to 70 with Emirates GBR. So difference in pressure all over the course, and it makes a huge difference to your strategy.
Yeah, really tricky, but Germany made the most of it, and well, pretty spectacular start for the home fans.
The Germans show nerves of steel and take the win in race number 1. Let's take a look at the Emirates fly time. It goes the way of Emirates GBR. 100% for Dylan Fletcher, Hannah Mills, and the rest of the crew. They did a great race, but they were caught halfway through leg 5 of 6. So the Germans get the win. Emirates GBR hold on for 2nd place. Just getting started here in this beautiful port city of Sassnitz. It is day 1 of the Germany Sail Grand Prix, the Rolex SailGP Championship. And it's the Germans that strike first and pick up 10 valuable points.
Flying carbon machines driven by the world's best. Yes, powered by nature, powered by nature. We are SailGP.
Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the official opening press conference of the inaugural Germany Sailing Grand Prix.
Really happy to be here. It's an honor to have a German event. It's a perfect setup here. We're very close to the racing, so you can expect exciting racing, exciting boats, and you're in the action.
You had to feel for France in Portsmouth sideline just moments before racing on Saturday. You described seeing the top section of your wing break and thinking this can't be possible. So what were your first thoughts?
Super strange and scary, honestly, especially because when it broke, I didn't see my two teammates leeward. Those seconds are not really fine for a skipper, so this kind of damage you don't want to see on a season.
Portsmouth might have been slightly different with Australia's podium hopes dashed by a controversial penalty.
Now this is the umpires. Penalty Australia relative Canada, not giving room at the obstruction.
Craig, I don't think it's not us. Not us, Craig.
We still disagree with it, but it's not our decision. I think it's split a lot of the sailing fans around the world. Ultimately, the umpires decided that we were too close, and we got the penalty. We don't agree with it.
Australia relative Canada, that's unbelievable.
There's no surprise that now that we've got more boats on the race course, we're seeing a lot more of these incidents, and with that particular incident, we were the only boat making huge effort to avoid a pretty huge collisions. And there's been some pretty entertaining emails flying around that have given us all some fun over the last few weeks. I think it certainly needs clarity.
Whatever the rules are, we'll play by them. It's just hard when the rules seem to change a bit. But hopefully we get a bit more clarity and we all know what the rules are moving forward.
Sassnitz, the special sailing destination on the Jasmine Peninsula, is home to the Germany Sail Grand Prix this weekend. Its stunning chalk cliffs and well-known seaside resort is a gateway to incredible hiking at the nearby Jasmine National Park. Sassnitz and the surrounding area has a distinctive character with its traditional buildings and bustling harbor. It's the perfect Baltic destination. We're just moments away from race number 2 here in Sassnitz. Another exciting race coming up.
With this new race course here in Sassnitz, let's take a look at what the sailors are focusing on. The course area is tucked right up against the shoreline, and with the wind blowing in an offshore direction, makes it really hard for the sailors to anticipate both the speed and the direction of the wind that is about to hit the course. The priority has got to be to keep eyes out of the boat, to be able to react fast when sailing through the different wind strengths. At the bottom of the course, the distance from the right-hand turning mark to the left boundary is shorter than the distance from the left-hand turn to the right side boundary. But we've seen that you can't quite make it to the top gate with just one manoeuvre. With it being a new venue, teams will have to learn fast to win races.
All right, thank you very much, Hannah Diamond, as we are now 1 minute away from the start of race number 2. Remember, we're scheduled for 4 races today. You get 10 points for win, all the way down to 1 point for 10th, no points for 11th and 12th. We've got 11 boats ready to go. Brazil damaged their boat in practice, so they will not be going. And Stevie Morrison, I got to think at this point, after one race, if you're France, Spain, Canada, and Denmark, you need some points in a big hurry.
Yeah, I think on the season standings overall for France and for Canada especially, this is huge. But yeah, Spain can't afford a bad one now. New Zealand, the black foils, they're out the back here. Spain out of position at this point as well again here. Germany, well, it's consistency that makes a good regatta, so can they put off a good start? United States leading the fleet back. They have the Rolex pole predictor on at the moment, and that is the fastest angle to the line where they are right now, so they're prime position, but can they accelerate? They're a little close to the line. Spain out the back, accelerate the boat. Australia, the Bonds Flying Roos are trying to judge the start. All about timing now. Wait for that line to turn white. Perfect by the Spanish there. Water start. Australia are going to be out the back.
The umpires, early start penalty Australia.
Brilliant by the Spanish there. What a start. They're going to be so fast into Mark 1, and it's going to be Rottwell Denmark chasing them down with a faster angle. But again, we've got big breeze coming for Mark 1.
As they approach mark number 1, it is Spain who finished 9th in race number 1 that have the inside line, and we'll see what they do with it.
Oh, Rockwool Denmark gave the United States a nudge there, pushed them high at Mark 1, trying to force them off the track a bit. Switzerland and Canada are out the back. It's a big race for the Bonds Flying Roos. Can they get back in the match?
And mega pump pressure here in 2.
There's a big low.
Take it down. This one is very good.
Race number 2 is on. This is leg 2 of 6. It is Spain out in front. Denmark sits in second. France has moved into third with the US in fourth.
It's the Kiwis that have turned away early here, Todd. Top of our screen, the Kiwis were in the pack. They found space. They'll come back with right of way. They have nice breeze at the moment, but I don't see them getting near the first 2 boats. They could be right back in the battle for the top 3 places, though.
Yeah, it looks like there's a really light patch of wind in the middle of the course. They're going to have to work really hard to see if they can join up the pressure and make it back to the middle of the fleet.
And here they are approaching gate number 2, the DP World Gate. This is race number 2. It will be Spain. Diego Botín, Olympic gold medalist. What will he do? He's going to opt for that left-hand side. And it looks like Rockwool Denmark and France, as well as Red Bull Italy and US SailGP will all follow.
Really tight. New Zealand Blackfalls have got a tough situation here. They've not got rights on Emirates Great Britain. Germany have got to give them all space here. Emirates make it. Oh, he did a good job. 2 boards in the water on board the Kiwi boat there. As Germany get really loose on the roundup. Good save. And we're back into the upwind leg here. Who's going to find the most pressure and make the gains?
So as they make their way back upwind, you see the top of your screen, Spain leads. Emirates GBR with a nice pickup there. They move into second place. And a good move as well for Rockwool Denmark. But it is Los Gallos out in front right now, the winners of Season 4. The overall champions looking for a big victory here. You notice we have 11 boats racing and not the normal 12. We had some very dramatic moments out on the water on practice day on Friday. Brazil with a big moment damaging their boat, which means they cannot sail today because of that damage. We hope to get them back at the next event, which will be coming up September 12th and 13th, and that will be the Rockwool France Sail Grand Prix in Saint-Tropez. But that does give us an opportunity to bring on board some Brazilian crew members, and one of the very best indeed is Andy Maloney, who'll be joining us. Andy, if you can hear us, your reaction and your thoughts about this sailing venue of Sassnitz and a first-time visit for SailGP.
It's pretty epic out there right now, Stevie. This is just champagne sailing, really, on these wings with this configuration. The boats are just wicked to sail, and I'm pretty jealous right now.
Yeah, mate, and just quickly, while we're looking at the boats here, they're going upwind, we can see it's very, very gusty. Now, it always strikes me as a flight controller, you've got your head kind of down in the boat. How much are you having to move things to adjust the foils to control the boat when it's this gusty?
It's super dynamic in these conditions. You just got to keep your ears open and listen to that wing trimmer calling the pressure, and take all the comms in and try and be as anticipating as much as you can.
Andy, as you look on these 11 boats that are competing out there right now, is this a learning experience for you, seeing what they're doing? Are you seeing it from a totally different angle, and do you think this will help you guys going forward?
We'll definitely look back on the data from today, but right now we're just trying to enjoy watching the racing from a different perspective for the first time.
Talking of that then, which side of the course are you right now? Emirates Great Britain have found themselves under the shore, but it seems like there's a gain to be made out where the French are at the moment.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to see from here, but it's all about linking together those lines of pressure and trying to stay out of those lulls on the downwind where you can make some massive gains.
We're visiting with Andy Maloney, the wing trimmer for Mubadala Brazil. They were involved in an incident on Friday, so unable to race today, and he is joining us on the commentary. And look at this one more time. We've got another situation. Andy, take us through what it's like at these gates and how hectic it is when you have 4 or 5, sometimes 6 boats all vying for the same spot.
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, you have to anticipate so much in every role on board the boat, and as a flight controller, you're really listening to those comms and trying to preempt the next move by the team, and when you throw in 11 other boats out there, it becomes really difficult to do that.
It's pretty crazy. We see how much the fleet's splitting out here, Todd, and I think someone that maybe has got one of the good seats for a view on the water is Lisa. Should be able to maybe see what's happening out there breeze-wise. A lot of the fleet have turned offshore, Lisa. Are we starting to see a pattern to the race course yet?
Yeah, I think the reason is because there's this big mountain behind the grandstand, and that's creating this real soft spot if you do a right turn. So everyone's favouring that left turn. around the top and then again at the bottom gate. So it is changing out here, but that is the general pattern.
Here's the situation right now. This is race number 2 of 4 on day number 1. Emirates GBR at the front of the pack once again. This time, can they hold it? They have a nice lead here, almost 200 meters. France is in second, and then you got the Black Foils, Los Gallos, and Rockwool Denmark top 5, with the Americans just on the outside sitting in 6th.
That's a good move there, isn't it? The British found a lot of breeze, and they turned right at the bottom last time. So trying to pick the pattern of this race course, what are we hoping to see from the British here, do you think, Hannah?
Well, I think, it looks quite likely that they can make the left turn, but you can hear just Dylan there. He's actually planning for the next leg of the race. So it looks like they're going to take a left turn here and then set themselves up for a nice, easy kind of minimising the manoeuvres on this next leg.
And Andy, when we had your old mate Peter Burling in the booth here with us, he'd talk about how important that planning the next move was on the race course.
Yeah, I mean, as you can think as far ahead as possible, but when you've got all these other boats around you, you become very in the moment, and that's what the good teams do the best, is planning as far ahead as possible and giving the crew as much time to anticipate the next move.
So they make their way through the bottom of the course. Now it's up, and then the right-hand turn will be to the finish here in race number 2. It is still Emirates GBR, but a big game there for the Black Foils as they now sit in second. Los Gallos, who got the whole shot, the Spanish champions of last season, they sit in 4th, but they are moving up quick. At the top of your screen, there is France and Quentin Delapierre.
Yeah, I think the interesting battle, New Zealand and Spain down here. We're going to get to the boundary, and New Zealand will have protection, so Spain will need to move away, but the Spanish boat, to me, looks really fast. They're sailing in a compromised position near the Black Foils, but they're gaining on them, so great move here. Key at the moment seems to be getting space. These two boats in a fight are going to slow each other down. There goes Spain. They peel away, and they turn it into a boat speed race.
Really surprising from the Black Foils there. Usually they're really great with their boat speed upwind, but either they were trying to make it difficult for the Spanish to live there, or they were struggling with something on board.
Yeah. Well, or they were up against the Season 4 champions who have got some wheels on them occasionally. It just shows, I guess, slight moments of form and finding the rhythm, but the British are in rhythm right now, Todd.
So there's your Rolex chasing time right now. The distance between Emirates GBR and France, 12 seconds, and that gap coming down just a little bit here. Remember, this is the penultimate leg. As they come up here to the top of the course, it'll be a right-hand turn and then the finish line, and this time it looks like Emirates GBR, Stevie, is going to hold on to this one.
Yeah, they're well set. I mean, right now in the best breeze is the Black Foils, but they are going to have to do a couple more manoeuvres. We were just saying how the Spanish look quicker. Well, Pete Burling and Liz Mackay have found a bit more breeze and have put a gain in. Emirates, Great Britain look good. France stick the manoeuvre there. So Delapierre, again, well positioned, should be set up, but they will have to watch out for the Black Foils at the top.
Andy Maloney, how hard is it to find air out there? How hard is it to see that breeze out on the course?
On a day like today when it's this puffy, it's actually not that hard, Stevie. It's more the other boats get in the way and make it difficult to go where you want to. But today it's pretty obvious the lines of pressure, and the teams will be seeing it really well.
Andy Maloney, Mubadala Brazil, giving us the insight right now, and we turn our attention to the Emirates winning moment, and it will go to Dylan Fletcher and Emirates GBR as they win race number 2 here in Sassnitz. France will take second place, and a great maneuver by Pete Burling as they cut the gate really tight, and now the battle will be on, it looks like, for 4th as the Bons Flying Roos come out of nowhere. Remember, they had the penalty early on, Stevie, back of the pack, and now they're fighting for 3rd.
Oh, it's unbelievable. They've come flying through, and New Zealand, the Black Foils are off the foils, the Spanish are off the foils, could well lose a place though. Yeah, the Bons Flying Roos, well, Slingsby, he was fired up. Last to first. Well, there you go. Don't get a lot better than that as comebacks.
New Zealand takes 4th, and Los Gallos, Spain, they will take 5th. And it'll be Rockwool, Denmark, coming in 6th place. So this is an interesting course. A lot of times we say this, there's no passing lanes on this course. There are definitely passing lanes out there because the Roos, they went from 11th to 3rd.
Yeah, I think Andy said it really well, to be fair, that it is opportunity. You can see the breeze, so you can see the opportunities, but of course it's easy. As Mike Tyson said, everyone has a plan until you get punched in the face. And I think today, once someone tacks and takes your position that you want to be in, well, what's my plan B, what's my plan C, what's my plan D? Consistency is going to be really, really hard, highlighted really, as we can see the Italians, Germans, US, all towards the back of the fleet after brilliant first races for them.
So a great job by all the fleet to bring it home in tricky conditions, but no one dominated the course quite like Emirates GBR as we go down on the water. Their driver, Dylan Fletcher, Hannah Mills join us for a quick chat. Dylan, congratulations. Did you guys learn something from race number 1 in that upwind leg that you translated into the second race to hold on for the win?
Yeah, it's tricky conditions out here, super shifty, and you just got to keep street fighting, I think what Hannah would say.
Yeah, and Hannah, I suppose we're used to seeing you guys sail fairly particular patterns on these F50s, but there seems to be no pattern at all at the moment. Is that a fair reflection?
I'd say so. It's super up and down in pressure, like 30-degree shifts, so it's just full eyes out and sail where the pressure is.
Ian Jensen, we can see you there, wing trimmer. I don't know if you can hear us, mate, but how hard is it with that 18-metre wing? I mean, you're clearly going fairly fast.
Yeah, I mean, there's some big lulls out here. You wouldn't see it, but you run out of power every now and then, and the grinders are definitely working pretty hard to keep the windward hull in the air.
Dylan, Hannah, Ian, we appreciate your time. Good luck in race number 3. So it is Emirates GBR that get a second in race number 1. They get a first in race number 2. They are in a great position right now, halfway through today's scheduled 4 races. All right, back to the start we go. Here it is one more time. Look at Spain on the inside line.
Perfect, really, wasn't it, by the Spanish and the Australians? Just that second early, put them out the back, but it lined them up for a big comeback, and there is opportunity aplenty on this course, Hannah.
Yeah, that's right, and perfect example of that is looking at where Emirates GBR, they're in 7th here, but they opt to take the right-hand turn, whereas the first boats took the left-hand turn, and it paid massive dividends by the top of the course because they came in leading by the time they got to the top gate. So you've really got to be happy to split from the fleet, take a few chances. If you can see pressure there, then you've got to be taking it, and being happy to be kind of taking some risks all the way around this course is going to be key for the rest of the day.
Well, I think they did find that space, and there is opportunity, but consistency is absolutely key. Emirates winning moment again for the British. They'll be looking to keep that going. But for the other teams, especially Canada and France, they really need to keep the ball rolling.
No question about it, but in race number 2, it is all about Emirates GBR getting the win. France hold on for second, and the Bons Flying Roos in third. So we take now some of the numbers that maybe paint a better picture. The Emirates fly time going the way of France. They back up a 8th place performance in race number 1 to get a second in race number 2. So a great showing for Quentin Delapierre and crew.
And we can see from the numbers here that the French team, they didn't do too many maneuvers in that race. They were just picking that kind of simple track around the course. But if you're going to do less maneuvers, you've got to make sure you're doing them in pressure. You can see a couple of boats there with 100% flight time, but that wasn't all that it was about. Keeping an average speed really high is going to be really key. It means you're avoiding some of that softer pressure on the course, finding the most breeze and making it as simple as possible.
Well, 2 races in on day 1 of the inaugural Germany Sail Grand Prix, and a huge home crowd cheering on Eric Heil's team. And while they took an epic win in race 1, overall it has been a season to forget for them as they sit at the back of the pack. But how will Team Germany by Deutsche Bank bounce back this season?
This weekend in Sassnitz marks the first time SailGP takes place in Germany, which should be reason for German sailing fans to celebrate. However, they haven't had much to cheer about this season, with the German team currently on 0 points, enduring a rough time on the water thus far.
Yeah, obviously the season didn't went our way so far. We suffered quite a lot from the penalty points.
We're pretty far down in the ladder of the season board right now. We've got 0 points, so we're going to go gain some points, so it doesn't look as sad at the end of the season. So there's a lot of pressure on us.
SailGP has a couple of elements, and to explain it very simply, you can break it down to the start being one element, maneuvers is another element, tacks and jibes, speed is an element, and tactics and strategy around the course. We're improving on all of them, but we've never really managed to nail all the different elements at one event. The whole fleet is developing. We're playing catch-up game. We're trying to jump on a train that is already moving and moving faster and faster.
It's the toughest it's ever been at SailGP. We are, like all the teams, are so incredibly good, but we are also pushing, and I think we know there's definitely potential, and we know we're better than what we have seen, and yeah, it's definitely we're ready to clean up a bit and gather some points finally, and hopefully climb the ladder a little bit.
If you look at the season, the next 3 months, we will get more sailing days than the last year. This is a big and very important time for us to catch up and to really do our homework. Yeah, for us, it's just keep going for now. We still, look around, look also for talents for our team and test people and putting the pressure also on existing positions. But yeah, for sure, we just learn as much as we can for now and try to step up as good as we can.
Race number 1 of the Germany Sail Grand Prix here in Sassnitz goes the way of the home team. The Emirates winning moment goes to the Germans. So Germany with a 1 and a 7th in the first 2 races with 2 more races to go. Can they get back to their winning ways in races 3 and 4? We're about to find out. Beautiful day to be out on the Baltic. Just a short time ago, Lisa Darmanin catching up with the driver for Team France, none other than Quentin Delapierre.
To get out here and rip the F50 around the racecourse.
Yeah, honestly it's good fun. Yeah, it's ripping.
It looks quite difficult to set up for the start, but then it looks like there is some opportunity for overtaking.
Yeah, exactly. I think the starting box is quite up and down in terms of throwing speed, so it's not easy to find your way, but as you said, it's a lot of shift, a lot of different pressure on the race track, so we can find a way to come back and try to do some good tactics move.
And what is the hardest thing about a day like today?
It's being on the edge all the time and just find the good way to sail the boat and not reaching the boundaries. Like as you saw, it's super fast and it's tricky to handle the boat.
Thanks so much.
Just happy to see Quentin Delapierre and the French team out there after their incident on Friday as we come under 1:45 to go for the start of the 3rd race, and then it's on to the 4th race. So halfway through, and right now it's Emirates GBR with 19 points. Germany sits on 14, and then you got a tie between the Aussies and the Black Foils. Of course, France 12th, and the USA currently in double figures on 10 points as well. So now the scramble is on, under 90 seconds to go. Hannah Diamond, this is an important race. You definitely want to pick up some points here if you keep the momentum going into race 4.
Yeah, that's right. And we've seen, before racing today, we were thinking it was going to be really, really windy, so teams were going to have to hold back. But actually, that's not been the case at all. It's been slightly lighter. And if you're not pushing, then you're not going to be at the front of the fleet. And that's definitely something we've learned out of these first 2 races so far today.
A lot of the teams taking opportunities to take some chances. And here we go, 1 minute until the start of race number 3. So they get themselves in, Stevie. We've seen a couple different strategies. We've seen people come into the start box late. We've seen people come in early and try to control the pace. For my money, it seems like if you get in the back, you keep your fingers crossed that there's going to be an opening in Moses and they're going to part the Red Sea and you're going to find a way to mark number 1.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard, isn't it? It's hard to control where the opposition are going to go. I think if you come back sort of leading, you've got the best chance of a consistent start. If you're out the back early, France, Spain at the moment, you might get a shot at the bottom of the line, you might get a gap, but might is not necessarily a great word to have in a consistent strategy. We can see there, right-hand side of the screens where the start line is. Spain are up and foiling already out the back on the foils, trying to find a gap. There will be a gap for them below Australia if they're quick and if they can block the British team. It's all about acceleration here. Black foils, middle of the line, well positioned. Canada, middle of the line, well positioned. We're watching for that line to turn white, and it's all going to be about acceleration here. Rockwool Denmark minded up. They're going to be bang on time. Here we go. Beautiful by Rockwool Denmark, so fast. Emirates Great Britain again find a gap at the bottom of the line, but they won't have as fast an angle to Mark 1 as the Danes.
Little soft, okay, big puff on in 3.
Big gust coming at Mark 1 here, Todd. Watch the speeds at the top of the mast.
4, 3, 2, 1, bearing away.
And at mark number 1, it is Rockwool Denmark as they get the whole shot and they go over 103.
Oh, what a moment. Fastest speed in SailGP ever.
USA goes triple digits as well.
They'd have been loose as a goose round there, Todd. Now, can they settle things up again? Try and set up for this next manoeuvre. Crucial here.
That was cool.
Triple digits is cool indeed. You have to go back to season 3, day 1 of Saint-Tropez. France had the official speed mark at 99.97s. No more. It now belongs to Rockwool, Denmark.
And turning. And yours.
So big speeds all across the board. Stevie, you saw it coming, you predicted it perfectly, and now the race is on. How do you maintain your position? How do you keep away from the rest of the crowd? And how do you hold off and pick off a win?
Big right gate bias in this lefty.
Okay, that's the coach there. Slightly different picture in there. It's Ian Williams, the coach, a world match race champion. He's actually going left turn, so the gain is to a right turn, is what Ian said. Good news for the Spanish, but I think you do try and keep it simple if you're on board Denmark, and it's now about locking in, getting speed, getting space, but it's Los Gallos that are going to have the attack here. Good move for Spain, potential get themselves right back in the race moment.
Yeah, that's right. And it looks like the breeze is up again at the bottom of the track here. So, you know, making that decision, do you take the easy option or do you take the slight bias? It's not always easy because these decisions come up so quickly.
Looks like it's a split on the fleet. Half and half go either way. So for the inside knowledge, we go down in the water. Lisa Darmanin, where would you have gone and what are the conditions like right now?
As Hannah says, the conditions have picked up. I think that left turn, even though there was the favour, just being on that side of the course where Denmark is, has always brought you a nice angle back. So, oh, actually, the Spanish have just tacked and they're looking really good.
Well, that was what we heard as the bias. Andy, we're hearing that, you know, we can hear the coaches out on the water talking, sorry, not on the water, they're on the land, but they're talking to the sailors. How much of a game changer has that been where you can actually have your coach giving you that information from the shoreline?
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, they're sitting there ashore, super calm. They can see the big picture and they can sort of see the geometry of the course and what other boats are doing as well. So they can really identify some key things that the team can focus on in racing.
And how much pressure are you feeling now that the Danish have just set 103 as the top speed ever in SailGP?
Mate, it's awesome. On these wings with these high-speed rudders and these new T-foils, the boats are going to go bloody quick, and it was cool just to hear how calm and composed TJ and the rest of Rockwool were when they hit that speed, and then they just settled into a nice downwind rhythm, so it was really cool to see.
Nikolai Sehested, Kahina Koons, Tom Johnson take a bow as they go 103. Andy, I know we give all credit to the flight controllers for getting that kind of speed, but at that kind of speed, I mean, we're talking 90s and up. What's that like as a flight controller? What's the ride like?
I think you're pretty zoned in and pretty dialed in at the time. You're just trying to think about what you're doing and think about the next move. You don't really think too much about it at the time, but after racing, I'm sure Rasmus will enjoy looking back on that one and enjoy the memories.
Here we go, as we get to the top of the course. What is interesting is I don't know if the Spanish were dialed into the Danish coach, but they've sailed the exact upwind leg that coach of Denmark, Ian Williams, called for with the right turn at the bottom, and it's been a big gain. We can see here, it looks to me like the right turn's further downwind, so the Bons Flying Rouge are going to sail less distance here, but will the Spanish put themselves in more wind?
So a change at the top of the leaderboard as the Bons Flying Rouge take advantage to sail less distance. And look at the speed now on the mast of the USA as they touch into 90 kilometers an hour as they do that bareway. And now it is on downwind. After gate number 3, you've got Australia, Rockwool, Denmark, the USA top 3, and Los Gallos, Spain in 4th.
USA are having a huge day, aren't they? They're sailing very, very well out there. Looks to me like Los Gallos have picked the best breeze there. They're in a massive patch of wind on the bottom right-hand corner of our screen. They're going to get boosted down the racetrack here, going nearly 7 or 8 kilometers an hour faster. But when they come back together with Australia, it'll be the Australians with the right of way, so they've got to be picture perfect in this next maneuver on board the Spanish boat.
You can see how much progress the Bons Flying Rouge are making down the course. They're almost going 90 degrees to those ladder lines, so not only in good pressure, but good wind angle as well for them.
Look like the only issue at this stage. And board, tip 3.
Constant communications on board as you hear Los Gallos, the Spanish, now moving into 2nd place. And it's a precarious position right now as they make their turn. They'll drop back. It'll be the Vikings that are now in 1st place, fresh off their top speed performance at mark number 1, 103.93 officially.
It's pretty quick here, right of way Australia. Oh, Slingsby spins it right in front of him. It's going to be Slingsby set for the left turn in front of Rockwool, Denmark. Does anyone take a brave move? Very hard to go right for the Spanish from here. Again, it looks good to a right turn if you can do it, but a very tricky boat handling manoeuvre if Spain could hope to do that. Could be opportunity for Canada here. North Star Canada are going to get to turn right. I think they'll get themselves right back in the challenge here.
Bonds Flying Rouge, Rockwell, Denmark, and Spain all up for that left-hand side. US SailGP does it, and Stevie, to your point, Giles Scott and North Star, they go for the right side.
They're going to split the course here now. What do we think, Lisa? Are they sailing to more breeze out there, the Canadians?
They are sailing to more breeze right now, but I think they're going to find it hard to come back across because there's this big patch of light spot in the middle of the course now.
Big line, boys.
It's pretty hard to be consistent out there, Todd. And Andy, I wonder at this stage of the event, how much of the teams be happy to just get a top 3 in this race?
Yeah, I mean, you're always pushing for the win, right? But top 4s, top 5s across the course of the event, you're going to be in that final. So I think top 4s people will be really happy with.
So we've got 5 teams right now, all within about 100 meters of each other, with Rockwell, Denmark, the Bonds Flying Rouge, Los Gallos, Spain, North Star Canada, and US SailGP holding those top 5 winning tickets. And Emirates GBR still lurking there in 6th.
Oh, what a great shot here. Look at the Australians all really low down, looking to minimise the windage. They're all kneeling down inside the boat, and it's an absolute arm wrestle boat speed-wise with Rockwell, Denmark here. We'll see how it turns out. It looks good for the Bonds Flying Rouge at the moment. They're coming back with the right-of-way, and they've been fast across there.
So Giles Scott and North Star, they're going to have to pick their way through this traffic jam.
Yeah, they've gained some distance, though, with that turn. So they've not got the right of way. As you say, they find the gap through, but North Star are going to be right in it at the top of the course. They've made a big gain on this upwind leg with that right turn at the bottom.
So the Canadians roll the dice, and we're yet to find out if it's going to turn out to be a Yahtzee move or not. Do they have another maneuver, or can they lay this into the gate?
I don't think they'll make the gate in one, Todd. It's probably one more manoeuvre from here, but they're going to come back with the right of way. So whatever happens, they've put themselves right in the chance here. Can they make this final mark with no more manoeuvres? They're going to be diving in at the top, I think.
2-time Olympic gold medalist in the fin class, Giles Scott at the wheel.
Big righty, more press, please.
There we go, CJ wing trimmer there. He's calling for them to press. They've got a righty, but unfortunately the Australians have got a lefty. You can be in different bits of the course in very different winds. Canada aren't going to make it happen here. And the Bonds Flying Rouge, well, they're going to get it done.
Coming down here in 2. 1. Coming down.
Around the gate they go, and it is Tom Slingsby and the Bonds Flying Rouge that judge it just perfectly with the Vikings in tow. They may have the highest speed, but the wind is going to go the way of the Bonds Flying Rouge in race number 3. Tom Slingsby and the Australians take it in Sassnitz.
It's tight back in the pack behind them here. We can see North Star and the United States. North Star have got to keep clear at the moment. United States on the inside. Now they've got to give them room, but Taylor Canfield's got it done. In the pack, look at the black foils, 11th. Great Britain 10th. This opens the weekend wide up here at the moment. People are hemorrhaging points very, very quickly.
What a difference one leg can make as the Australians burst their way up and take the win.
Oh, the black foils spin inside here, and they're right inside the Swiss, but I think it's going to be black foils 10th, Emirates Great Britain all the way back in 11th. Wow, the points are going to rack up massively after this race.
A big shake-up across the leaderboard as Emirates GBR looked to be in a top 6 position, Stevie, as they were coming upwind here on leg 5 of 6, and then they just dropped like a rock back to 11th.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, I don't want to make Andy sound too good, but he did, as soon as you get out of shape and you're not able to do your plan, it's very quickly to lose a lot of distance here. We can see the black foils really slow across the line there. Not sure what's happened with them. I think they just stayed ahead of the British, but, oh, it was a slow moment. Yeah, you get out of phase and you lose distance real fast.
So big win after 2 races. It is Australia that flexes their muscles, the 3-time champions from season 1, 2, and 3, and they get it done here in race number 3. Tom Slingsby, we welcome you back to the show. Congratulations on a great race. It has been tricky out there. You guys never seem to give up. What was the key on race number 3, and how did you get it done?
It's winning. Really powerful the last 2, yeah.
Tom Slingsby, welcome to the big win circle on race number 3. How did you guys get it done?
Yeah, copy.
Well, communications issues there with the Bonds Flying Roos, but what we can confirm is that Australia does get the win. Denmark goes second, Spain third, the USA with a great performance in fourth, and North Star Canada rounding out the top 5.
Well, we'll look back at that race here, and of course at the start the Spanish were so aggressive, but what that meant was it opened the door for Emirates Great Britain, and at the top of the line, bang on the pole predictor, was Rottwell Denmark, and for here they lit it up, and it was record time at Mark 1.
Yeah. And as Andy was saying, you know, you've got to hit that top speed, but then you've also got to be ready to keep racing. It doesn't win you the race getting that top speed, does it? And it's really interesting. So the Danish coach mentioned that it was favoured to the right turn. They chose to ignore that, and the Spanish made a huge gain by taking that right turn, taking the lead.
Yeah, they did, and they stretched out, but you can just see that all those patches of breeze, it's so hard, and once you're in a tight pack, as these 3 boats were here, it's really hard to control yourself, control how well you sailed the boat. Canada got a split, but it was the Bonds Flying Roos that got it done. 2 good ones in a row for the Australians, who can get it done in race 4.
And the Emirates fly time goes the way of the new speed merchants of SailGP. It is Rottwell, Denmark, 100%, and it's worth noting once again, they now set the fastest time in a SailGP race at 103.93 kilometers an hour. So after 3 races, we've got 1 more to go, and there is the leaderboard. Stevie Morrison predicted it. It is now the Bonds Flying Roos on top, Emirates GBR in second, and Germany Deutsche Bank in third. Great performance, though, Stevie. You look at US SailGP and the French, they are sitting solid at 4 and 5, so they're within shouting distance, as well as Los Gallos.
Yeah, all can happen in this next race. Black Foils need a good one. North Star really need a good one, so pressure's on. But yeah, consistency is going to be so hard on this race course.
Season 2 saw the introduction of female sailors to every team in the league. And now in Season 5, we've seen the league's first female driver in Martina Grail. She's leading the way and showing what female sailors are capable of, but there are plenty of others who are pushing hard to make their names behind the wheel.
Martine coming in, I think, is a massive step forward for women, but imagine we had 3 or 4 female drivers, you know, then that's real progress, and then that's really pushing towards equity and equality.
You have to have 1 female on board the boats at the moment, and that is a rule, it's compulsory, but I'd like to be in a world where it's not actually a rule, it's just normal. Sailing is a really unique sport that gender doesn't matter. You know, Mother Nature doesn't know if you're a boy or girl. It's all about who's performing best on the water. Now that there's girls excelling in all different roles on board the boats, I think it's just becoming more and more normal. So currently on board, I'm the strategist in the back of the boat, but I want to upskill. I want to be moving forward in the boat, whether that's driver, flight, or wing. For me personally, my ambition is to drive a boat. I want to steer a race in an F50. I want to win a race in an F50. When I came in my first event, Tom asked me what role, if I was to do a role on board this boat that wasn't a strategist role, what would I like to do? And my immediate thought was I'd like to drive the boat. So how do you make driving a boat a reality? How do I make that happen? What's the next step involved? I mean, and it is just simply time on the boat. You know, like in Olympic sailing, you don't dream up a gold medal just kind of off the bat. You have to work systematically hard to get there, and it's all about time in the boat. It's about dedicating the hours necessary to make that happen.
I would like to see within 2 seasons another girl leading a team. I think Hannah Mills is probably the closest one to getting all those things put together.
Love to drive a boat and, you know, join Martine on the start line and I guess, yeah, close the gender gap.
I think most people must imagine, wow, Martina put together this like amazing team, but I think it's really hard to get the funding.
It's a huge part of my drive is to try and push female sailing forward and, you know, create new opportunities, and, you know, whether it's drivers, whether it's wing trimmers, whether it's flight controllers, there's so many roles on the boat that I think women could be amazing at, given the platform and the opportunity. And so have the next generation just seeing anything is possible.
Some absolute rock stars there. So it's 3 races down, 1 more to go. 3 races, 3 different winners. Germany, Emirates GBR and Australia all have wins. Who will win race number 4? We're about to find out.
Flying carbon machines driven by the world's best. Yes, powered by nature, powered by nature. We are SailGP.
In season 1, Dylan was the first announced skipper of SailGP. He would have been ecstatic, something that he probably never dreamed of coming a lot sooner than he anticipated. At the end of season 1, the CEO, Russell Coutts, makes the call that Dylan Fletcher will no longer be the driver of Great Britain.
The British driver Dylan Fletcher has been dropped from the team.
It was incredibly tough. It felt as though that could be it. I may never drive a SailGP boat, an F50, ever again. I was there on the sidelines just working out what I could do basically to get back into SailGP, and that resulted in 2022. I actually ended up working behind the scenes at SailGP, doing some work in hospitality. I wanted to be racing, and I obviously felt as though I could and had the ability to be there, but I didn't know how I was going to get back.
Dylan went from what felt like nothing at the time to then getting back as the driver on an F50 team.
It's a fairy tale return to SailGP for Mr. Fletcher, made even more remarkable when you consider it's been 4 years since he last drove an F50.
That's 3 Grand Prix finals in a row for Dylan Fletcher and a first win for Emirates GBR. They lift the wheel here in Sydney.
It feels like it's been an awfully long road to get back here, and so to be sat here now, back driving the British team, is quite surreal.
When you think about the grit that it takes to be able to have everything taken away and build it back up, you know, that grit shines through because that's what elite sports people do.
Let's go!
Back in Sassnitz, day number 1 of the Germany Sail Grand Prix. Massive crowds on hand, and there you see the legend, Sebastian Vettel, part of the Germany Deutsche Bank team. He's there with CEO Russell Coutts, taking in the great racing here in this beautiful portside city, and obviously pulling for his squad to pull off another victory like they did in race number 1. Well, another great story is Rockwell, Denmark. They put up the number that everyone was talking about. Who was going to be the first to break into triple digits? The answer, Sebastian Say pulls it off, and Nikolai Sehested goes 103.93 to get that top mark in race number 3. Just a short time ago, he caught up with a 4th member of our broadcast, says Lisa Darmanin, down on the water here.
Nikolai, congratulations. You got the new speed record in SailGP. It's 103.93 on that Barraway.
Oh, yeah. No, thanks. Sorry, I have a lot of people talking to me. But yeah, no, thanks. It was a really good puff we got there. And I knew we had the chance. So I left the cant on the whole time just to see if we can eke it out and get a bit extra. So now it was good.
It must feel good to be finding back at the front. It's pretty gnarly out here, though.
Yeah, super happy. We still have a lot to learn, and I think you saw our second race. We also got onto the front. We got caught up, and we're improving. So that's good to see. Everyone's looking at data in between races. We're getting faster and faster. I mean, we know we have some catching up to do with the T-foils, but I think we're doing it as best we can and as fast as we can. And I think that was a good improvement, that race, compared to some of the earlier races.
Well done, and enjoy the next couple.
Thank you.
Very nonchalant about going over 103 kilometers an hour. And Stevie, they are stock up. Rockwell, Denmark, they go 11, a 6, and a 2. And now you're in the conversation on 14 points in 7th.
Yeah, it just shows how crucial those points are, doesn't it? You see them in 7th, but you said they lost a few places. They were winning the second race, so that is crucial. You've got to be keeping that detail on, and he clearly had a chance. An idea he had a chance of that record, didn't he? And yeah, full Viking mode at Mark 1. But what an amazing feat to get that speed.
Yeah, that's right. And you could see from that shot just a second ago how much difference there is in the breeze across the course. Right now, it looks really sedate, but when these boats get up and going, there's definitely plenty of breeze on the course to be hitting that top speed again in this race.
So Nikolai Sehested right now is the main headline of the day one action here at the Germany Sail Grand Prix Sassnitz, part of the Rolex SailGP Championship. And now it all comes down to this, the fourth and final race. Remember, there's 3 more races tomorrow before the event final, so there's still points to gather. But Stevie, we've seen this before. If you can get the momentum after day number 1 and roll that into day number 2, you do yourself a solid.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so much pressure on the, a little mistake can cost you so many points so quickly. And we just see this course in front of us here. You've got the dark patch to the right, very gusty in here, but there's less wind in the start box. So as they say, tricky to judge the timing into the line here.
1 minute to go before the start of the fourth and final race here on day number 1 in Sassnitz. Remember, it's the 18-meter wing. We haven't had that for a while, Hannah. Plus, we also got the T-foils, and we've got a lot of wind, so a lot at play.
Yeah, that's right. Perfect configuration on a perfect sailing day here in Sassnitz. And they're all lining up for the last start of the day, taking what they've learned from the races before.
Crucial here. New Zealand have found an awful lot of speed. I'll be quite interested to know how the grinders are feeling right now. Fitness is going to really become a huge part of this race. And the black foils have got a lot of space. Bottom of our screen, upwind end of the start line here. They're going to have a very, very fast angle to Mark 1 if they can judge the start. The whole fleet's lined up well away. Burling's going to try a slingshot special here. Favoured positions, middle of the line. Rolex Pole Predictor sits on board the French at the moment. But here we go. New Zealand winded up top of the line. We're looking for that line to turn white. 5 seconds to go. Australia well positioned. Here come the black foils up and foiling, but they look a little late. It's go time at the start. Black foils are fast, but on the inside it's Australia. Oh my word, the black foils have found space, found speed. Watch them go.
Ooh, look at this.
We're going to be pushing for another record at Mark 1 again here, Todd. The black foils have got a fast angle. Burling has judged it, pulled a rabbit from a hat, and they're going to be lit up round Mark number 1. Lots of breeze, good angle, big lead for the black foils.
Watch the numbers continue to climb at mark number 1. Just under triple digits.
Oh, Burling went for the race win there. He kept himself deep in the gust. He didn't push the speed too hard, but it's the black foils, the Rouges, and the French that lead away here at mark number 1. Great Britain were way out the back at the start of this race, so that's huge. Look at them, 11th position. United States, they've had a perfect, really good day until now, but they're in the pack, so tricky. Canada move away, but the black foils from here are well set, Hannah, and they're going to have an easy run into gate 2, aren't they?
Yeah, that's right, and it looks generally quite light on the course at the moment. You can see they're not quite paralleling those, crossing those ladder lines quite as much as they were in that first race, so maybe a few more tactical decisions on this first leg down to gate 2.
Let's go down on the water. Lisa Darman, and how have the conditions changed, and what will we have for the next 15 minutes?
I appreciate 10 after the mark.
Maybe Lisa's a little busy out here. It looks like they're going to keep it pretty simple on board New Zealand at the DP World Gate 2 there. They're going to take the left turn. It will be Canada that will be the first to split away towards the right. But I think there's good breeze where the black foils are heading here. This looks like a pretty sensible manoeuvre by Burling and co here. And he's followed by the next 3, and it's Germany. Well, they need a good last race here for the home fans, and they're giving him it right now.
Germany, Deutsche Bank, Eric Kosegarten-Heil, the winner of race number 1 in their second season, looking to get yet another victory here on home waters.
I think they'd be happy with the top 3 here. Consistency is going to be key. As you can see, 11th place still for Emirates Great Britain. Rottwell Denmark as well. That consistency that Sehested wanted, not happening right now, but there are opportunities on this course. And the middle of the course now, there's a lot of breeze, but the black foils, they manoeuvre in a big gust at the top of our screen.
Let's go down on the water, Lisa Darman, and what can we expect over the next 10 to 15 minutes with the conditions?
Todd, it's going to stay tricky out here, as Hannah was saying. The wind has died down a bit, but the gusts are still really strong. So I think the course is going to be a little bit different this one, but as we've seen, you kind of need to play the wind you're in at the time, and because it's so patchy, you can be in completely different wind to someone that's just 100 meters away from you.
Yeah, good point there. Right now we're on leg 3 of 6, the fourth and final race of today. Before tomorrow we have 3 more fleet races and then the event final, which is only the top 3 teams. The problem now, Hannah, if you're in the middle of the pack, say Canada, North Star, Los Gallos, Swiss, there's spots, as Lisa pointed out, to make changes, to make moves up there. But look who's at the front of the pack. You've got the black foils, you got the Bonds Flying Rouge, you got the French who love the breeze. they are tough teams to get around.
Yeah, and I think the good thing on this course is there's plenty of width to it, so there is a lot of space where you can get clear air, but you've got to be joining those patches of breeze together. You can see the speeds upwind. They vary from the high 40 kilometers an hour up to the high 60s, depending on what mode teams are in. So if you're down in that slower speed, there's no way that you're catching up the front boats. You can just pick those patches and put them together.
Tricks to be patient and try and just keep making the next right move that you can do and hope people around you maybe make a mistake. The French have found good breeze, and you can just see it is light in the middle there, but Canada, they've got themselves sailing back towards more breeze, and that's the main thing that you can do. It's always that question, do I find more wind where I can go faster, or a better angle where I can minimize the distance? Right now, it kind of looks like these leading boats are doing both at the same time.
Nice battle there between the Black Foils of New Zealand, the Bonds Flying Roos of Australia. Somewhere Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds are cheering on the green and gold.
Yeah, and we heard Liv Mackay saying the Aussies will go left, so they're planning what the other team are going to do. Interesting that they choose to split. They clearly think they're sailing into wind, but expect an early manoeuvre from the Black Foils to try and match where the Australians go on the race course.
Runners coming down here, 2, 1.
Definitely lighter out there, Hannah, isn't it?
Yeah, and you know, these 18-meter wings, they're designed for that top-end conditions, and they're perfect for today, but they're really tricky to sail down the range, and you can see that just Bonds Flying Roos really struggling to keep that hull flying out of the mark there.
Yeah, look at the Kiwis, the Black Foils, middle of our screen. They're barely progressing down the course, and someone who is progressing down the course, Canada. He's found a massive gust of wind on board Canada and the German team. It's getting really gusty. You've got to be able to move. Oh, no! Big incident here. The United States, they've lost the bow of the boat. We've not seen what happened on the race course here. Huge moment. Safety crew are going to have to get alongside and make sure things are okay there. We're going to sure get some footage of what happened soon on the racetrack with that one, but that's disaster for the United States after such a good first day so far. And we can see back on the racetrack now, it's the Kiwis right on the boundary. Look like they're pushing things wide, but they had lost to the Australians at the moment, and a boundary penalty. They've got to lose 20 more meters there for the Black Foils. That's an uncharacteristic mistake. First two are gone, but look at the battle in the pack. It's all on as we can see jettison parts of the US team floating there. They'll be collected by our safety crews for sure in the next few moments, but it's a battle royale. The two big favourites in SailGP, toe-to-toe. Right of way will be with the Bonds Flying Roos, and will they split at the bottom of the course?
And a close moment with the French and the Canadians just there on this left-hand boundary as they're coming down. The conditions are so tricky with such a difference in pace. When the breeze is up, it's really full-on conditions, but then at the top of the course, when there's so much less wind, it's really tricky to change between those two modes on board and keep your tempo calm.
This is definitely the battle of the Titans right now, and look at that. The Black Foils able to lay it right in. The Bonds Flying Roos have to make one extra maneuver. It's Pete Burling. He'll opt for the left-hand side. It'll be interesting to see what Slingsby does. He's going to split the course.
He is, and they've got a big enough distance over the boats behind that maybe he can afford to roll the dice, but it looks like Burling's sailing towards better wind at the moment, so I think the Black Foils have made the right call there. Roll of the dice by Australia, but he should still be relatively safe. There's a lot of breeze at the bottom of that race course. Black Foils, look at that, they change angle dramatically. They're going to manoeuvre and be shortening their course up the racetrack there.
Lisa Darmanin, who made the right choice here in your perspective from New Zealand and Australia, and with the American boat stuck in the middle of the course?
Oh, it is so hard to call it out here, but I actually think New Zealand's going to struggle to get across here. But just on the USA, so the Emirates GBR are also stopped in the water, and I can see a red thing and a blue thing that's being salvaged from our salvage team at the moment. So, yeah, it's going to be, they've got to avoid it, but yeah, it's so shifty and gusty out here. It's real tough.
So the penultimate leg of race number 4, the racing goes on, and a salvage operation underway with Emirates GBR and US SailGP. There you see the damage on the front left side of their boat. That piece is going to be retrieved, and then they'll get towed in. Meanwhile, a race for some big points, Stevie. We could have our 4th different winner in 4 races.
Yeah, we could, but let's look back. I think we've got some replays of what happened in that race earlier on the incident here. We can see Port Tack, United States. They've got to keep clear here of Emirates, Great Britain. They see them too late. Oh, that's catastrophic. They had to keep clear there. There's no one on the bottom side of the boat looking for that incident. Oh, that's unbelievable. They've just taken, I think the British boat's going to be seriously damaged in that, but British with right of way.
They're not doing anything. They're not doing anything. Head up.
Oh my Lord.
Hannah Mills called it.
Oh, well, that's the trouble. You've got sets of eyes on the boat so people can look. There was no one on the leeward side of that United States boat looking. If you've not got the right of way, you've got to be looking where you're going. Oh, that's a shocker. And that's just not acceptable, I'm afraid, Todd. Back to the race. Black foils, well positioned here. It's tight at the top. Australia will have the right of way, but potentially can the black foils get there with no more manoeuvres? It's going to be marginal at the moment.
They're going to be comfortably ahead. Who's next boat?
Slingsby's done the commentary for us there. Looks like the black foils are going to have this one in the bag from here, but anything can happen. The wind is very, very shifty.
Stand by here, please.
You can see how much lighter the wind is just by the angle change that the Bond's Flying Ruse had to go through in that tack there.
Yeah, that is just experience right there. Tom Slingsby didn't want to say it, but he knew it, and he's already looking to see who would be a threat for the second position. But it is the black foils who spin it around. 4 races, 4 different winners, and the final race on Saturday will go the way of the black foils. Peter Burling and company take the win in Sassnitz. So with the Emirates winning moment going to the black foils, now the battle is on for the points behind, and it will be the Bond's Flying Ruse taking second. And look at this, the battle is on for the 3rd spot, and it looks like Content de la Pierre not happy with 4th.
Charging, but he's got to give room for Canada to get inside that mark, so Canada will hang on. Essential, the black foils got a result in that race, and what did they get? They got a bullet. Massive performance by them. Oh, and it's just catastrophic for United States, so they've had such a good day out there. Spain come across in 5th. They're struggling. They've got a lot of reset to do overnight tonight.
Solid day, though, for the home team. Germany Deutsche Bank, as Eric Coastgarten Heil, after a win in race number 1, they'll get a 6th in the 4th and final race. And the Speed Merchants, full Viking, they will hold on for 7th place. Rockwell, Denmark, and Nikolai Seilstedt, they get a strong performance to wrap up the day. The Swiss will come in 8th. What a day of racing, and a lot still to unpack here on the Baltic. So Stevie, the Swiss coming in after a great performance at the last event in the UK. And Red Bull Italy, they've been up and down a little bit. They will finish with a 9th place as they tickle 90 kilometers an hour as they bring it to the finish line.
Yeah, I think in some ways it's an easy day. It's very flat water, but it's so gusty. The breeze strength is changing so much that it is a very, very tactical, technical day out there. And I think if you're not fully dialed in with your maneuvers, as some of these crews, newer crews might well be, it will be hard. But we're going to get to go down to New Zealand, and we're going to be able to talk with the skipper and CEO, Peter Burling, who brought together an amazing last race there. Pete, that was some start, and you were really, really fast into Mark 1.
Yeah, it's nice to finally get one good one. Finding a little bit tough all day, so finally found a bit of space up the top and could let it rip, so it's nice.
Liv Mackay on board as well. Liv, an exciting day out there of racing. You guys were kind of all over the board. You started with a 5th, then you get a 4th. Well, we won't talk about the 10th, but you finish off the day with a 1st. How nice is that to have that confidence going into day number 2?
Yeah, I mean, it was super tight racing all day, so really snakes and ladders, and obviously always good to take a race win, but I think, yeah, I mean, it was all to play for all day, so yeah, it was very interesting out there.
Pete and Liv, appreciate your time. We wish you the best of luck tomorrow on Super Sunday. So let's go back, and a lot to unpack, as we said, in race number 4. We'll begin at the start box. Stevie Morrison, you got to love this dance. It's slow motion, but so much tension on the line.
Yeah, and I just love it how Burling flavoured it up. He came up the top of the line. He played a different strategy, needed to change. They made it change, and they came in so fast from here. They were fast at Mark 1, no records this time, but then I don't know what from here. They made it look quite simple, despite it being a titanic battle with the Australians, but I don't know if it was highlights or not.
Yeah, well, we saw this bottom gate as becoming a really crucial part of the race. The black foils chose to turn left, and the boat in 4th, Deutsche Bank Germany, were the first boat to take that right turn. But it didn't really worry the black foils. By the top of the course, they were still leading, but the difference in pressure is just getting bigger as the day goes on.
Yeah, you can just see it was really, really gusty and hard here. We see the Australians at the top of the course nearly came off the foils, in fact, on that. But now, here, it was gusty, it was shifty, but this was just a disastrous moment in the race. You can see a hole put into the British boat. United States have got to keep clear, but the strategist there just too late coming down to look for the boat. Just not really acceptable. You've got to have your eyes out the boat here. Kiwis got it done, though. Brought it home, won the last race of the day, and they're going to be feeling pretty good tonight, Todd.
Take a look at the Emirates fly time, 100% for the Bonds Flying Roos as they finish in second place. A great day for the Australians when you look at races 3 and 4 as they go 1 and 2.
We're going to take a look back at some of the statistics from the last race, and we can see here that it was actually Rockwell Racing with the only 100% fly time. Again, that's really tricky to keep the boat foiling in all these conditions, but the black foils minimizing their maneuvers, taking that left turn down at the bottom, just finding some space on the course. Again, really high level racing in these conditions out here.
And they just managed to keep it really fast, didn't they? Speed is always king.
So 4 races complete, and here are the standings. It is the Bonds Flying Roos with a massive lead, and that's what consistency can do for you. The Black Foils sit in second place, even with the French Le Bleu on 24 points, and just 1 point out is the home team, Germany Deutsche Bank on 23. Los Gallos still in the conversation, as is Emirates GBR, depending on how bad the damage is to their boat after that incident with the USA. And we now go on board with the Bonds Flying Roos. Tom Slingsby. Tom, what a way to close out day number 1. You guys finished with a win in race number 3, a second in race number 4. How tricky are these waters out there in Sassnitz for you guys?
Yeah, I've got to say it was fun racing today. It was shifty, windy. The race course was good. It was just awesome racing, and yeah, huge crowds as well, which is really cool to see.
Tom, you could see how quickly things were changing out there. We've had an incident with the British and the United States. How hard is it actually picking your way through the fleet in these shifty conditions?
Yeah, it's really tough. A big problem is with the shifts and the pressure. You think you're crossing, and then as you get to the intersection, you get a big header or something like that, and all of a sudden you're not. We had to do a couple of last-minute ducks, which were pretty full on. It's just hard in these shifty conditions, but I mean, I didn't see that incident, but in general, I thought the fleet was sailing really high level. It's unfortunate that happened today.
Tom, appreciate your time. We wish you the best of luck tomorrow on Super Sunday. So the Bonds Flying Roos go 6-3, 1 and 2, and they own the top spot on the leaderboard. Let's take a look now at our precision athletes of the day.
Yes, I'm going to say Liv Mackay for the Black Foil strategist. They're really happy to split away from the fleet. Kevin Pepinay on the French boat. You know, we didn't see so much of them in the front of the fleet, but at highest average speed all day. And from Diego Botín as the driver, you know, that top speed, I think, is going to be something we're chasing for a long time to come.
Yeah, well, it was the starts that, of course, got Diego that, and it was actually race 2 where we saw, you know, our Rolex best time start here as we see them line things up, and it was actually Emirates Great Britain that got that Rolex best time start. They were looking late, but then they wound it up with perfect timing. Fletcher was good at the start line today, that is for sure.
And the DP World highest speed of the day, once again, we'll report it, 103.93 kilometers an hour. There are new speed merchants out on the water for SailGP, and it goes the way of Rockwell, Denmark, and Nikolai Sehested getting it done. Before we say goodbye, we want to check in with Lisa Darmanin for a report on what we can expect tomorrow.
Well, Todd, it's going to be a different day tomorrow. It's going to be much lighter, around 13 kilometers per hour, gusting up to 17 kilometers per hour. But it's similar direction, northwest, which means it's still going to be just as shifty and just as challenging out here. But they're going to be a bit of a change of pace, but it's still going to be about finding that wind and sailing less distance.
All right, thank you very much, Lisa. Much more from you tomorrow as we turn the page, and it is Super Sunday coming up tomorrow for the Germany Sail Grand Prix Sassnitz, part of the Rolex SailGP Championship. 4 different races, 4 different winners, and it is all on tomorrow, and a lot of work for the shore crew. So, for all of our crew here, Stevie Morrison, Hannah Diamond, and Lisa Darmanin, I'm Todd Harris saying so long for now. We will see you tomorrow in Sassnitz. Super Sunday will be one you will certainly not want to miss. This is the Germany Sail Grand Prix Sassnitz. Oh, France! Problems, big problems.
98 kilometers an hour there for the British at Mark 1.
They will bring it home. And they go over 103.
Oh, what a moment. Fastest speed in SailGP ever.